During this video segment, I will show you the class section rollover feature that teachers can use in Curriculum Track. Basically, what that allows you to do is if you have all your lessons attached to the appropriate days in the current year, and you have the correct pacing guide and so forth. In other words, this lesson took 2 days, this lesson took 3 days, and so forth. Then the next school year, you can roll that same pacing over and attach it to the new school year calendar. So now I'm looking at my pacing for the 2018-2019 school year. So notice that I have this lesson 2 days, 2 days off, and then I have it again. So it could be different lessons, of course. So when we go to the rollover feature, we're going to be able to pull those over and keep that same pacing. So now I just did the rollover for the school itself. So the school-wide rollover, what that does is it goes and it unattaches all of your courses. So now our lessons. So now notice here's a list of all my lessons for Math 5, and none of them have dates attached. If I go to the weekly planner now, you'll see that my weekly planner is empty. It took all those dates off. But what you can do is you can go to class section setup, and by your individual class sections, you should see a rollover dates from last year. So I can click on that. It's asking me which class or class sections, and then what I want to push it into for the new year. So for the new year, it's going to go into here, and it's saying which one do I want to pull over from. And then I enter a start date for when these lessons start. So I'm going to go ahead and say our first day of school here is September 9. And also copy lesson notes if you want those notes to come along with it as well, any notes that you might enter. So what it shows is it shows the lessons that I had last year and when we are going to have those showing up this year. And I'll go ahead and click submit. And I guess I didn't show you a few of those, but ultimately, when I go now to the weekly planner, and let's skip ahead to the week of September 9, and we'll click it. Notice that now it pulled those lessons in, and if you have non-school days, or if it took a certain number of days, and notice there's some extras here. That's because I had that on the previous day that I didn't show you. But ultimately, it's going to keep the pacing guide intact. So if you had it taught 3 days in a row, it would keep that and so forth. If you have non-school days that were created, in other words, vacation days, your administrator will do that, not the teacher. But if they set up days for Christmas as an example, it'll automatically skip over those days when doing the pacing guide as well. So to do that again, you go to class section setup, you find the rollover dates, and you can click on that. You do not have to do this. A lot of teachers find they have a lot more control to just add them in the old manual way. In other words, they can go to weekly planner and they can click on this paperclip and add those lessons in that way as well. And certainly that is an option if you want to have a little bit more control. So now this concludes this video segment on how to roll over your class sections.